Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the best new Vex build using Trouble in Borderlands 4. Now Vex can actually get a huge boost to our damage from using Trouble because he can mark targets, making them take a bit more damage here. And with some specific buffs to certain weapons, we can do crazy amounts of damage as you just see right here in Ultimate Vault Hunter 5. A brief overview of the build, we'll be using the Unsealed here, which can give Trouble additional 15% damage per kill. And this actually stacks up, and then when we use our action skill, this will double it, so we can get 90% extra damage. I also got a class one that's giving us an extra boost to the action skill damage, which is considered Trouble damage. So Trouble can actually put out some respectable damage, especially if we use a few different choices here. And this is further augmented by giving us both ourself and Trouble lifesteal, so Trouble can actually stay alive quite a bit. And we'll dip into the green skill tree for even further skill damage, which includes our damage that Trouble deals by 45%, and then also getting lifesteal, which is a further boost to our damage. We're pretty free to use whatever weapon that we want on this build. I really like the new updates to the Bonnie and Clyde assault rifle here. And we can use a lot of different class mods, but I really like this one because it has 3 rolls into the red skill tree, which we'll be using, and we get overshield, which is crazy. Lifesteal onto that, so we survive everything. Now to start off from level 1 here, I like the Blood is Magic. Whenever we have our full health, we're actually going to get extra action skill damage. This is good with that class mod that I was talking about that gives us overshield and lifesteal onto our shield, so that we're always going to have our full health, which gives us that 56% bonus damage. I like Enchantment here, which will give us bonus kinetic damage, which is really nice to have when our action skill is active. So that's only actually when we're using our action skill, it's not all the time. Overprotective can be cool to give ourselves overshield. Hasty Fiends is always a good choice, giving ourselves a boost to movement speed, which is always a luxury to move faster, and also get damage reduction, which can keep Trouble alive even longer. This then lets us take a couple points in Yowlin Bay, which will give us more health capacity and gun damage whenever we command Trouble, and then you can take Claw and Bang, which will give you increased melee damage and Ordnance damage, which is nice because you can continually go down to take the left-hand side, which will give you a boost to actual Ordnance damage on here, but at this point, I just like to take the Enchantment to get that bonus kinetic damage. Now, we're going to want to come down to the right-hand side. We want that Unsealed. So what's cool is Grave Current is actually a very strong ability. So whenever we get a kill, Vex's minions gain bonus shock damage. So this is 8% per stack, so we can get 40% per stack, 3 stacks, 120% bonus shock damage. Bonus damage is great because if we got things that increase the damage, it's actually going to increase this damage too because it's considered bonus damage on top of the normal damage we're dealing, which is already buffed. So this stacks up really well. Infusion can be nice to get bonus damage, but since the class mod here gives Grave Thirst, this is actually really good for a variety of reasons. Now, we get 10% lifesteal per stack. Normally, it's going to be 7.5. With this class mod, it goes up really high, 3 stacks, and this applies to our minions. So you're going to see your minion attack and actually keep itself alive. And what's great about this is it actually gives it quite a bit of survivability. And at this point, we'll take our Capstone Unsealed. So whenever we kill a marked enemy, we get a stack of that Unsealed, which does 50% extra damage dealt on Trouble, and then also gets health regeneration per stack, so that's actually pretty effective keeping it alive. And whenever Phase Familiar is active, the benefits are doubled, so it gets more health, it gets more damage dealt, and yeah, we deal 50% extra damage against the targets that have the purple glowing ring around them, which is huge. At this point, I think it's best to go into the green skill tree to really boost up the damage. Now, if you want to use elemental weapons, we're going to take all the 3 right-hand side, but if you want to use kinetic damage and also use elemental weapons alongside them, so I like kinetic damage because this gives us lifesteal on them. And for 6 seconds after, we can actually swap to another elemental gun and keep the kinetic attunement on, or leeching attunement on it. And then with the blood litter here, this gives us a bleed, which is actually very crazy on the Bonnie and Clyde. And then this will just give us increased kinetic damage, which is nice. Although you can take the right-hand skill tray as well. Let's take us down to Ars Arcana. So skill damage is really nice because this actually applies to our bleed damage. So we now got 45% more bleed damage and 45% more of our Troubles damage. Ars Arcana is really nice. And then this lets us go down here to Essence Leech. So we get lifesteal, and this is doubled whenever we activate our action skill for that like 8-second time. You can go with some of these other options here, like Bloodshot is nice, but I'd rather the Undead Eye and go full in on that. I wish we could get more points. This will scale really well once we get the DLC, because at higher levels, then we can take Blood is Power, getting bonus kinetic damage, 300% of our lifesteal, and we can get a high lifesteal between all of this here. Now, between the best augments, Vorpal Fang will make it more offensive focus, giving a critical hit chance, 10%. Pretty good. And then you can also press F and hold to command Trouble to do phase daggers, which do a bit of damage. I don't find that are like crazy high damage. I like beast mode preferably. So you can press and hold to make Trouble immune to all damage and get increased minion action attack and movement speed. So basically when you activate this, Trouble's immune for 10 seconds, which is huge because you can use this in a pinch if it needs to get extra healing. Because with this, it's going to heal itself, and Grave Thirst give itself a lot of healing. So you actually have pretty good survivability on Trouble using these. And we get a lot of survivability ourselves with a Team Witch class mount getting 10% lifesteal. The shielded one will give you us increased shield capacity, which is great because then we also get that extra shield, lifesteal, and overshield. This comes with 3 rolls. I like those 3 rolls there. You can also go with the Kindred Spirits whenever using a command skill. Grants Vex bonus kinetic damage with guns for a duration, and command skills deal gun damage in addition to its other types. So this is great if you want to command trouble often, because I mean you will be with this build and this will boost its damage, but I didn't find that the skill rolls or even just anything in general was as good as the Teen Witch, because if trouble goes down and you have the Teen Witch keeping yourself alive, you're fine. Trouble will come back. But if you go with this, you might go down yourself. But for shields, I really like, since we're going to be getting a lot of overshield, to drain it with the Watts for Dinner with the Amp. This has a roll on it that'll give plus 150% gun damage. And this gun damage is crazy because it's going to stack up even further onto our bleed damage. So we can take out enemies a lot quicker this way. And it'll also continually keep reapplying for our Team Witch. You could also use the Super Soldier. It's always a good shield to use. It recovers ammunition. It's got high damage. Everything about the Super Soldier is fun too if you don't want to use the draining shields. And I also like to use like the Timekeeper's New Shield to give us a full health bar. Fireworks if you're mobbing. Those are just a few other good choices. Now for our enhancement, really these are hard. You can't really farm them that well. But anyone that's going to increase your shotgun or assault rifle damage would be great. I have the Deadeye on here. I'd prefer to get 3 and then 2 of the high caliber, or 3 high caliber, 2 Deadeye. But this one gives us increased critical hit damage, which is nice. I prefer I like the Vladoff ones if you want to use Vladoff guns, like the Wombo combo. That can be really good. Looking for the plus 25% gun damage. That's the best roll for this. Now the best ordnance on this build, I really like the critical hit knife. It's just really useful. It also sets up trouble to deal with critical hits. The new Scully grenade from the Halloween expansion was kind of fun. You can use the waterfall grenade, also a powerful one, but I don't think anything really tops the critical hit knife. And then the triple bypass with an amp gives 200% extra damage. You can actually stack this up. 150% extra gun damage, 200% extra gun damage. That deals crazy bleed damage with certain weapons like the Bonnie and Clyde. You could also use something like the Leech here to get 30% lifesteal for 10 seconds, which is really good. If you need an emergency lifesteal, this one's extremely effective for that huge boost of lifesteal. And I also like the tank. Getting 50% less damage for 10 seconds is massive. This is a really good choice. Now into weapons, I really like the Bonnie and Clyde. It actually buffed it to give it 40% more damage and an additional 50% damage when we swap gun types. So the Pair of Thieves is a special ability on this. When you shoot with the assault rifle and take out an enemy, you can swap to the shotgun and you get 150% bonus damage or extra damage on top of that, which is huge. I'd recommend mobbing with the shotgun than swapping to the assault rifle for bosses, but you can swap between them because you're going to get full ammunition when you take out enemies, and it chains around to multiple enemies, so it's going to take out enemies a lot. I really like the TK's Wave here. This is a very powerful shotgun, and it also can critically hit and bounce around. Seventh Sense Pistol is really good too. The proprioception, it creates orbs behind the enemy, so you actually do a lot of damage with this. The Stray Sniper Rifle is always going to be a good choice too as well because it homes in on enemies. You don't have to aim with it, but it does high damage too. Wombo combo is great for vile enemies. I really like using that there. The GMR, just a high damage assault rifle that can also critically hit and chain around to enemies. These Plasma Coil is great for mobbing against any boss that has shock shield, so you can use the shock, and then also has radiation damage on top of it. Hot Slugger, always going to be a good gun to use, and I like the Dullahan shot underbarrel with the exploding extra damage ones, or the Oscar Mike with the space laser. And for the best specializations, I really like the best defense here, giving 30% bonus damage when our health is full, and we got full health often. Now with caffeine, giving 25% extra action skill cooldown whenever we use our Repkit. So 3 triple bypass, boom, we got our action skill pretty much back. Riddle You This is great because this gives us 50% extra gun damage, which will then go onto our action skill with the I Am a Gun, because our action skill damage now benefits from our gun damage at a 50% rate. So this is adding it to Trouble. You could also use a Honed Mind because this will give us increased critical hit chance and additional critical hit damage on Trouble, especially if you use the Vorpal Fang Augment. So basically when it comes to fights, whoever Trouble marks is your target because this is going to further boost up Trouble's damage. At any time you can activate Trouble and then it becomes Big Trouble there, and it's going to deal a bit of extra damage there. I'm using the GMR here. It's nothing crazy in terms of damage output, just a fun, consistent rifle. And you can see Trouble's actually doing pretty good damage, and Trouble's not going to lose its health. So we could literally just stop attacking here. Trouble's damage isn't anything crazy. Unfortunately, it can't do anything crazy in this game. But the thing is, it's not going to go down. So it can constantly be pulling aggro for us, which is nice. And then if it starts to get low in its health, you can just activate a skill there, which makes it immune to all damage, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, again, I'm not using something super powerful with this gun here, just using a very chill weapon to show off how Trouble works. And then with the Bonnie and Clyde, you can see we actually do pretty crazy damage because this increases our bleed damage. And what's great about this is you can actually activate it and swap damage types. You're going to get big boost to the shotgun damage if you don't have to reload it. And you can continually keep swapping. Anything with Jacobs is going to be great because this allows it to chain around multiple times, multiple enemies, and give a big boost to overall damage. But yeah, if you can get any increases to your assault rifle magazine size, it helps this gun out quite a bit because the damage output is insane. So there it is, a very powerful Vex build using Trouble. Now I realize the green steel trees are obviously a lot more powerful. I do have builds on those if you want to see them, but I get asked all the time to do some new Trouble builds. So yeah, I think this one is the best. Unsealed is just super powerful, giving yourself a boost to your damage and making Trouble pretty much immune to damage between the beast mode and this. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed this video. Hope you have a great day, and we'll catch you in the next one.